Okay, we'll wait a few seconds.
Hello, hello. Just to see. I'm waiting.
Hello? Is anyone out there? Okay, good. We're live and I'm like getting my life together here. I am here with Gerald. He is two people. He is the Hermit Mage and he is Tarot Stache. Who are
Yes.
you? Your Tarot Stache in the comments tonight. Hi,
I'm
Allison.
yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna get the comments up and going here, and um, when I heard how when you explained the Tarot Stache name of your channel,
Uh-huh.
I thought it was so clever.
Yeah. And this is the box that I'm keeping track of all of my decks that I require, acquire. And I was actually talking to Richard before our live today. I don't have these in alphabetical order, which sort of short circuited my brain. So I have to fix that. So
I love it. It's like an old school card catalog.
yeah, I used to work in a library, so I just love this sort of organization. It just makes perfect sense to me.
Yes.
So yeah.
It's way better, I think, than computerized card catalogs because you can see what else was there, like right in front of you,
Oh,
instead of having to look up separate titles all the time or
oh
could
sure.
see
Yeah.
all the books on that subject or all the books by that author.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see who's here. Hi, Allison. Hello, Jamie.
Hello.
Kristen, hello. Angela, of course, is here.
Mm-hmm.
Espacio Rising, hello. I've seen you in so many chats lately. I'm so glad you guys are here joining me. So Gerald just showed us his library card catalog, his tarot stash. I did not put two and two together until I saw you explain that to someone.
Oh, yeah.
Tarot stash is your stash of tarot decks. Okay.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. And
I thought that was really clever.
well, thank you. And I got that because Essence 818 Neem, because the Hermit Mage sounds very similar to the Hermit's Cave. And
Yeah.
I completely wasn't even thinking about that because the Hermit Mage is related to something I'm writing. And Neem said Tarot Stash, and I went, that's good. So
That is good.
I'm just like, good. Yeah.
So your two channels, the Tarot Stash, you said are for your lives and for your Tarot Stash, and then the Hermit Mage is etc.
Actually, the Tarot Stash is going to be about deck acquisition and the flip
Okay.
throughs. And those are, and I just filmed two of them that are upcoming. One is the Quantum Tarot version 2.0 and the Crows Murder Tarot.
The Murder of Crows?
Yes, the Murder of Crows. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's just a chance for me to go through, and I'm not talking about them. I'll do the more in-depth stuff on the Hermit Mage because that is what a hermit who is a mage would do. Once he would get the tools, would investigate them. And I've done lives on the Hermit Mage too. So
Okay.
but yeah.
And you just went live with, I just wrote his name down so I could check him out, Longman Tarot today.
Yes, Richard. We were on for over 2
Richard.
hours just chatting. So
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm gonna go back and rewatch that. I was telling Gerald I miss all the good stuff because I'm at work. If only I didn't have to be gainfully employed, the world would be my oyster. So I wanted to talk to you about a bunch of stuff. We're just going to fly by the seat of our pants here. Awesome. But I have the usual questions, like how you got into tarot and stuff. But I was watching Jilly's live, and Gerald and I were talking about knitting before we went live here, because I found out on Jilly's channel that you are a knitter, and a pretty good knitter too, because Gerald, he knitted a sweater that he showed, and I was pretty impressed.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I mean, and it was one of those things. I started knitting, I think the winter after 9/11. I had just broken up with my first longtime companion, and a friend of mine was visiting me, and she was knitting, and it was so meditative. I kept watching her and kept, I was mesmerized. And so finally she says, "Here," and she taught me how to knit, and so I took to it really quickly. So I'm grateful for that. So
Yeah, I had a fellow teacher. She would be knitting in the faculty meetings, probably to keep her sanity every time we had a meeting. And it is mesmerizing. And I've always loved that click, click, click sound that the needles make. I
yeah,
love that sound.
yeah,
And crocheting also mesmerizes me because just the little hook and they cruise right along. And I can do a chain crocheting, but that's
yeah.
about it.
Yeah, crochet. If you've ever, I mean, crochet is much more difficult for me because I don't understand the charting for crochet.
Yeah.
It's just like, what is this? I don't understand. So it just makes it
Yeah,
trips my brain.
knitting's pretty, I guess, obvious. Once you know the basic stuff, you can always figure
Yes.
out what they're talking about. But
Are you a continental knitter or an English
I
knitter?
am, yes.
You're a continental
I
knitter?
am a continental knitter.
Me too. Me too. So yeah.
That means you hold the needles and you don't take your hand off to flip the yarn around.
Yeah.
You just keep going.
Yeah. The yarn in your left hand rather than your right, where you have to actually
Yes.
manipulate it. So, but
Yes, I am continental, and it's fascinating though because I never knew how many different styles of knitting there were. I
right.
think, is it Greek or Russian knitting where they put the yarn around their neck to keep the tension? They put it behind their neck.
Is that Peruvian?
Something.
Yeah, there are different variations of it. So it's like, oh my gosh. So, but
Let's check.
yeah.
Go ahead, Gerald.
Oh, I was just saying, I remember because I like to knit socks and I like to use the double points because it makes me look dangerous.
Yeah.
And I can knit and walk at the same time. And I remember a time when I was knitting on some socks and I got to stairs and I couldn't walk down the stairs and knit at the same time. So I found my limit. It was like, don't, because so I actually had to stop. And, it was just one of those things. It was like, oh my gosh. So
Did you pause when you hit the stairs and kind of have to recalibrate? What am I doing here? Oh, stairs. I've done that with books.
yeah.
I'm trying to read and then I hit stairs and I have to stop and figure out what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah. It's like, this doesn't fit. This doesn't work. Yeah.
Yes, needlepoint. When I was a kid, I used to do those yarn hook, where you'd have the little pieces of yarn and loop hook. What are those called?
Latch hook.
Hook and latch hook. Yes, those were fun.
Mm-hmm.
Kristen threw the yarn across the room in frustration. Well, we've all been there, Kristen. Okay, who hasn't thrown the whole ball of yarn across the room?
I've actually, I don't know about you, but where you get a skein and it's center pole and it's not working. I've actually thrown some yarn away and it wasn't cheap yarn, but I couldn't actually untangle it. Amy, it was so frustrating. I was like going, I must destroy this.
Yeah, it was, I'm trying to unknit something, just back up a few rows and it gets tangled and I, just have to start over. That my first knitting, the person who taught me how to knit, kind of lectured me and was like, you always need to take the skein and wrap it in a ball. You have to ball the yarn. Otherwise you're going to hit I'm too lazy for that. Come on.
I don't do that.
Allison says she likes crochet more because she can fix her mistakes easier.
Well,
we don't crochet.
Crochet is really fast. I
It
mean, it's
is.
boom. So
But we don't understand the charts we were saying, Allison, for crochet.
yeah, no, no. I
Yes,
was
like sewing. So I'm not a measure twice, cut once person. I'm
oh
just a cut this and hope for the best. So there's always something a little wonky.
yeah, I was watching uh, uh, Common Hawthorne, Kenneth. Did answering your questions? He
Yes.
did that, and he likes knitting lace, and I was chatting with him, just commenting. I'm like, they have to be charted, the lace patterns, because
Like tatting?
well,
Is
it's
it the
like
same
knitting
thing?
this, except it'll have more yarn over and all that stuff. So it's actually
Yeah.
very, very lacy. So
Okay.
so the graphs are really
Yeah,
nice.
I had heard that he's a knitter too.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello. Liminal Lark is here. Hello. Oh, Jason's
Okay.
here. Tarot by the Pines. He does not have the patience. That's okay. That's understandable. It's, my patience for knitting comes and goes, but it's always um, something really relaxing to do while you're watching TV or listening to a
Yeah,
podcast or something.
yeah, and
Um,
yeah,
so something else creative you do, Gerald, is your tarot writing prompts. I
yes.
think people are excited about that, and you're going to do live readings, right?
Yeah,
Hashtag tarot writing prompts.
yeah. This was I had an idea of, because tarot writing prompts. It's basically pick a tarot card and then write a story based on either the image of the card or what the card means. And sometimes I will do two of them, two or three. And I thought, gee, wouldn't it be great to get a live where everybody, maybe I have 5 or 6 people, and we all have the same prompt. And we all write about the Three of Swords and the Two of Cups. And we sort of, so it's like tarot writing prompts open mic night, to where you've got 5 minutes to share with the world what you're doing. So that's upcoming. I think that'll be just so much fun. I just can't wait. So
That sounds scary to me.
what's
I
scary?
would be scared.
Oh, okay. Is it because you're
Like,
putting something out there?
yes, I'm not, I'm not a fiction writer. I think I could, really do well at, being a copywriter or a technical writer. I write essays really well, but fiction, I've just never been good at.
Well, nobody said it had to be fiction.
Oh, okay.
Come on,
All right.
you know. And yeah, I do. I have been writing for every day for almost a year, and I've really needed that in the quarantine because it gives
Mm-hmm.
me something to do. And it's interesting because sometimes the characters and storylines would overlap, and it's like stream of conscious writing in some instances. And that's where I would just pick a word, a prompt, and then just write. And several months ago, starting to use the tarot to add another layer to it. So, and I have a friend, we write together once a week. She typically writes nonfiction based upon what the topic. So it works. It
Okay,
works.
well, because it scares me, I think that means I should probably do it. It's seems
Yeah,
like there would be a good payoff. The least that could happen is I will get a better understanding of the card, right?
right, right.
So,
And you can
that
nobody said you actually had to do a YouTube and post it for the world to see.
yeah, that thought just crossed my mind. I don't have to put
Yeah.
it out there if I don't want to.
I don't do any editing. It's stream of conscious, and if I've got an easy setup, I will actually go ahead and record it. So I'm sort of like that. You know.
I'm gonna have to try that. I'm just gonna have to, because I've done that before where I just kind of write down anything that pops into my head about the card. I've done it about non-tarot stuff too, just in my journal.
Yeah.
And that's what I was having my students actually do. We were writing about the painters from the Harlem Renaissance, and they just write as much as they can, and then they find the poetry in that. So they pick out words and phrases.
Well, in Jen's Balanced Tarot, she does the tarot play dates.
Yeah.
She has actually started something, it's tarot free writing, where if you want a deeper understanding of the cards, you look at the cards and you write. So, there's lots of stuff that
I saw that. Yes. Now I saw that. I guess if I don't have to write fiction, it kind of takes some pressure off of me now that you say that.
Well, and one of the great things about it is you're welcome to write the worst crap in the entire world as you do it. So, and it's like, trust me, I've written some crap. So
that might happen, Gerald. It might be the worst crap in the entire world, but
yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you should see in the Tech Coven is supporting you, and so is Wandering Mountain Bardic Path. So in the comments.
Okay, so they're peer pressuring me into doing it.
No, they're actually supporting you.
Okay, good. Thanks, Allison. Hi, Deck Harlot.
Hi, Deck Harlot.
Yeah, I'll mull it over. I will mull it over. I'm mulling. Okay. I will accept it as a challenge.
Peer pressure, Amy,
would be myself.
Okay, peer pressure would be me saying, so when I log into YouTube on Monday morning, I'll see this prompt, right?
Sometimes I need that, though.
Well, you get it. It only works if you want it to. So that's awesome. So, but yeah. But that has been fun. Thank you for asking me about that. That's actually brought me a lot of enjoyment over the last year, especially with being in quarantine and stuff like that. So it's been crazy.
That probably is a good outlet for people who have been, this year, I've just told people I could do another year of this standing on my head. Like, I'm that introverted. But I can understand how people are going a little bit stir crazy, and some people are not introverted, and I really feel for those people, because if you're someone who needs a lot of social connection, that's just not how I recharge usually. So it's been a good excuse for the last year to not have plans with people, but I still can feel like, okay, I'm ready to talk, go hang out with my friends. But I can see how writing and just being able to get things down on paper, that always helps. If I can't sleep, I know I need to get out my journal and just get it all down on paper.
And yeah, the writing is less expensive than buying tarot decks.
Which you have bought a lot of, haven't you?
Yes. Do you want me to show everybody the,
Yes, show us, because I think I wrote down the number. No, I didn't write down the number.
So I kept track of how many decks that I bought. So that each one of these cards has the name of a deck on it. And so there were 64, I believe. So 64 decks in 2020.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I don't think I have 64 decks total.
Well, okay.
What is your favorite one? What's the one that's kind of risen to the top as your absolute favorite in 2020?
I have actually been really thrilled with the the everybody calls it the sassy burrito, but I don't want to call it that. The Sasaribito.
Yes.
So this is really nice, as well as I'm really enjoying the textured tarot. So
Oh, that looks cool.
yeah, this is got they're collage images. So
Okay.
So it's
Now I like a good collage deck. I know some people don't like collage, but I really do.
I do too. I do too. Are you a borderless or do you need borders?
I'm not usually picky about borders. I do like borderless. It's always, a little more stunning to go borderless, but as long as the borders aren't overpowering, I usually don't notice them very much.
Right. I mean, we of course have the Robin Wood tarot in common. Right.
Yes.
You love
My
that.
absolute all-time favorite.
And you heard my story about the Robin Wood, right? Do you remember that?
What did you say?
Okay, so I bought my Robin Wood deck from Robin Wood.
Oh, wow.
So that's my
Nice.
claim. And this deck is two other good friends and I. We each bought a fresh copy from Robin of the Robin Wood Tarot, and we studied it individually for a full lunar cycle. And then we got together and did a ritual where we combined all three of our decks together, and then we created a single deck. So this deck has my two other good friends' cards with it in there. So
oh, nice.
it was lovely. So
what a nice thing to do.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, it's like whew.
Now I've had a couple of cards go missing from my Robin Wood deck, and well, one of them didn't go missing; it just sailed out into the ocean, so it just sailed away. I was in Key West, and I was like, I'm going to sit by the ocean and pull some cards, and one of them the Two of Pentacles, was just kind of floating away on the ocean there. I have video of it, and the Five of Pentacles just disappeared, and I have no idea where it went, and it never came back. But a friend of mine from a tarot meetup that I'm in had a different meetup that was a lot of older women. It was like the Tarot Guild, and one of them passed away, and so her decks were dispersed, and my friend got the Robin Wood for me to replace those cards.
Oh, that's
so I have someone's a tarot reader's deck that I have that is kind of like a second copy that I kind of keep in a safe place in case some cards are missing again.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned the Two of Pentacles. That is my favorite deck, my favorite card in that deck.
Really?
So, yeah, it was, I think, the energy of it and what I was going through in my life and how I was balancing lots of things and walking in
on the tightrope.
Yeah, on the tightrope. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it.
Yes, I just love that deck, and because it's the deck I started with, I just, when I first started, did not like the look of the Rider-Waite. I just didn't. The colors just weren't really doing it for me. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted something that looked like that, but that was a little prettier. And I don't know where or how I got that deck, but that's just the one where I think of a tarot card. That's the deck that comes into my head. Yeah. I love it.
And, I just recently got a copy of a traditional Rider-Waite Smith, and I got it because it was at a used bookstore, and it came with a wooden box that I found. I'm going off on a ramble. I love boxes, wooden boxes. Here, let me show you. I love wooden boxes, and this is a wooden box that a friend of mine's father made, and I put my Wizard's Tarot, which is my personal magic deck,
Mhm.
And I went to look. I heard about this, that there were somebody had died, and there were a bunch of tarot decks available, and so I went to look, and the guy who made these makes 2 of them at a time. So I bought the Rider-Waite-Smith traditional one simply for the box, because it is the sister box to this one. I
Oh
mean, it
my
was like,
gosh.
yeah, it
What
was
are
awesome.
the chances of that?
So,
It's
yeah,
like kismet.
yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. Sorry, got
That's
all excited.
amazing that you would
Yeah,
find both of those.
yeah, it's like perfect, and it had a Rider-Waite-Smith deck in it, and it was like, okay, I've never used it yet, but
Is it the plaid back?
um, it's, which back is it? I don't, and see, here's the thing, Amy, it's this back.
Oh, okay. Does anyone know which version that is?
Justin Michael was on here, but he may know, but Kristen
Yeah,
Louise is
that is such a way better back than that plaid back.
Yeah.
The plaid one almost makes me angry. It's just so plaid. Yes, Jason, Robin Wood is my grand dame. Jason coined that term for his main deck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, and Kristen Louise outed me. I used to work in a library. I worked in a library 32 years before I retired, and I started shelving books. So that's how I started my career at the library, and everything in its place.
Yes.
So,
I have several times thought, should I go back and get certified to be the school librarian? That might be fun. Oh, Justin Michael's listening from the shower. Hello. Hello in the shower.
that's funny. That's funny. Oh, I've been asked, do I have a favorite tarot deck box? Ooh. This is the look of Gerald short circuiting. Because I actually like I like the decks, the boxes that actually have magnetic, that are magnetic on the side. I think that's wonderful.
Oh, like the little flip over ones? Yeah, I
Yeah,
like those.
yeah. And I think the Murder of Crows is pretty good. And this one, I just like, yeah, this one is pretty nice because it actually has this.
Is that the limited edition with the red?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the one I've been drooling over.
So, yeah, next week will be a flip through of this on Tarot Stache. So,
okay.
But, yeah. Do you know the book Midnight Library, Gerald? I don't. But I am making a note of this so that I can look it up. Thank you.
Yeah, Allison says some people are against used decks, but I love it when they're all worn in. I don't mind a used deck. I think you cleanse it and put it under the moon or the sun as good as new, I think.
Yeah, and I think so long as you cleanse it a little bit, it's okay. But
yeah,
I have put decks in timeout where I actually I don't have a purgatory box, but I have put decks in timeout where they just need to sit with a rose quartz and some selenite just to calm the F down. So
yeah. Sometimes I get like I don't know what's happening here, but I get like, let's just reset this deck because it's starting to kind of be cranky. I'm looking for my wooden boxes, and I've recently kind of redone this room, and I'm wondering where I put them. Where are my boxes? They must be. I should probably find those. That's alarming.
I love it. You are so concerned. I can see it. You're like, what did I do with my boxes? I mean,
Well, I'm like, I usually know where everything is, and I'm like, there are some decks in those boxes I need to track down.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I do have a thing for boxes. It's a thing, and I will collect them. I have lots of cigar boxes. There's something about organizing and grouping things together that just makes me feel good. It's
Yes.
I'm like that. So maybe sometime I'll collect all of the wooden boxes that I have purchased and do a walkthrough of those. So, because that'll definitely be a tarot stash thing, because that's about the acquisition, Amy.
Okay.
Oh.
That's the library science person in you.
Yeah.
That was Jason's question. Do you have a favorite tarot deck box? I do have a favorite tarot deck box, and it has an Eye of Horus kind of inlaid in it. And then I have one that was just a box that I got from like kind of like Michael's Crafts or something, and I finished it. I stained it, and it worked well for a tarot box.
I like that.
And then I have like some home goods ones that are sparkly and shiny, and I like those too.
Yeah.
Nothing better than a worn-in deck. Oh, not tattered and falling apart. I kind of like the ones that are feathery. My Robin Wood is feathery now, which is the best.
But I do like that idea. I will put a deck back in order when I first get it, if it's a used deck. It's just like, okay, everybody get in order, get how you should, calm down.
See if anyone's missing.
Oh yeah, that too. So
I'd like to try my hand at making boxes for my decks.
Ooh.
You should do that. That's Deck Harlot.
Ooh, that's nice.
I'm still trying my hand at knitting a bag for my decks. Got sidetracked there.
Yeah.
Oh, Jamie, you do have a purgatory box. I'm gonna have to start that. I'm gonna have to find a purgatory box.
Yeah. Candy from Candy Soul and Soil mentioned that she has a vacation shelf, that when certain decks are not behaving, she puts them on the vacation shelf. So they go away for a while and they come back refreshed. So
you need to go on vacation for a while and get refreshed.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Do you read for others, Gerald?
I do read for others. I like reading for others, and tarot for me, it's a great way for me to, I really connect with divinity, divine, God, goddess, the universe, whatever you want to call it, through the use of tarot. It's my gateway. And a lot of times I will just sort of start talking and providing some information, and the cards really help allow that to happen. So I do like reading for people. I struggle with reading for myself because I'm too close to it.
Yeah.
And I also use it. I also use tarot as I'm preparing to do spell work or ritual work. It helps to give me additional insight. It's like, don't forget about this or think about this. So,
I've said that to people when people ask me about spirituality. I don't have a religion, and so I don't really know what to say. But being a tarot reader isn't spirituality exactly, but that is a huge part. I mean, this tarot is just how I go inside and how I can kind of make sense of things that I'm thinking or things that I'm feeling, or, you know,
Right.
like you said, my connection. It's just really helps facilitate that. It's a really important part of my spiritual practice.
That's very well said. That's very well said, and I agree with you. You know, tarot is available to anyone who practices all religions. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
So it's just providing you. Well, I see it as it's just providing me with additional information and insight.
Yep.
So I think that's
You know,
lovely.
I'm reading, and I think, you know, you see tarot through the lens of your own experience,
Hmm.
and I think that's why people find the right reader for them, because I'm going to see something maybe totally different, or come at it from a different point of view than you would or than someone else would. But I've been trying to get through this bad boy,
Oh wow.
Jung and Tarot, a little light reading.
Ooh,
And it's one of those, you like read a chapter, put it away for a while, read another chapter, put it away for a while, let
yeah.
it percolate. But it's just a lot. And yeah, I'm working my way through that.
Hmm.
I really
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah. The Annabelle Wynn book, that the one that's about this big, it's like,
Holistic tarot.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I haven't been in college for a long time, and it's like I want to, it's a slow chew.
Yes.
I'm going to chew on this for a while, and that's for all of the right reasons. So,
You know, I heard her speak at Christiana Gaudet's conference in January, StarCon, and she did a talk on shamanistic tarot, and it was so freaking fascinating. I just was like scribbled notes furiously. But she talked about shamanism, and especially Asian shamanism, and approaching the cards that way, and it like blew my mind. It,
wow.
it was just
Yeah.
it just really just she talked about lighting a candle and saying certain things, and how the fire is like, I mean, it was so good. And I thought, God, I mean, she's traveled and researched this, and wow, I was
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
impressed by that.
Yeah. Justin asked if that book is the Sally Nichols book.
Sally Nichols, yep, it is.
Good eye.
Yes, it is. Oh, Angela's in nursing school.
Yeah.
You're doing homework.
Yeah. So
I'm
she's listening.
sorry about your homework.
Yeah. How did stats go, Angela? She had to leave to do something with stats earlier today.
Oh
Ooh.
no.
Yeah. Math.
Yeah, that sends a shiver down my spine.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, if I may.
Sure.
Do you have decks that are private decks just for you, and decks that are public?
I do.
Okay.
Um, you know, my Robin Wood was my go-to for everything, and then it's almost like kind of like it's an old lady now or something. Like it's just a little older, and it's a little, you know, crankier, and it does not like to for other. I just feel like right now it's just for me. It
Right.
used to be for everyone, and now it's like, yeah, she doesn't like that anymore. So Robin Wood turned into a private deck. There's another deck called Tarot of the Weird that I use just for me, because I almost wouldn't know how to read for other people with it, because I just feel like it has a lot of past life
Oh, yeah.
stuff that I click with. And so, um, but otherwise, I think that's about it. Now, I do have a few decks that I always turn to when I read for other people, just because they're comfortable. I know they're going to talk to me.
Hmm.
It's, you know, standard imagery, so I'm not going to get hung up on that.
Right. Right. Yeah. Sometimes I
Yeah.
actually I have two copies when I do. That's one of the things that I add in my deck interview spreads. Are you a private deck or a public deck? And so it's like I have two. Well, actually, I think I have three copies of the Wild Unknown. One is a private deck, and I think two of them are public. So
Oh, okay. So you have multiple copies. I don't have multiple copies. It's either, it's either sink or swim. So,
sure.
it's every man for himself over there in my deck collection. No, I just sometimes it shifts, but I don't have. I think the Robin Wood is the only one that I'd be really picky about people touching or anything like that.
Yeah.
But the other decks I would use for other people, they just really don't speak to me for other people. But
Sure.
I don't have any multiple copies of a deck except for that spare Robin Wood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I do that. So I actually have I bought an extra copy of the Robin Wood because I was sort of getting panicky of what if something were to happen to this Robin Wood. And I think the other one that I got another copy of recently was the Wizard's Tarot, which is the personal deck that I use a lot. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I need a backup, and because it's out of print.
Oh.
And it's not coming back. It's the one by Corinne Kenner. So.
Yeah, Corinne Kenner. I love her. She was in Minneapolis for a while. I'm from the Twin Cities, and I think I was leaving just as she was arriving there. But
yeah.
I have a couple of her books, like Tarot, Journaling the Tarot, which is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love Corinne Kenner.
Yeah.
She had an all majors Christmas tarot that you could print off the computer. Yeah. And it was it's really pretty. It was just a majors only deck, but cool. I don't know if she still has that up. That was quite a number of years ago that I printed that off.
Wow.
My son really liked it because it had the Krampus for the Fool.
Oh, fun. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, as I'm thinking about writing, I think I'm going to start writing a lot with my Titanic tarot. I think those would be good writing prompts.
Yeah.
And Manuela from A Place of Stillness and I are actually on April 10th, which is the anniversary of when the Titanic set sail. We are doing live readings with our Titanic tarots.
Oh, so that's cool.
Yeah. I just recently went through, and I'm still finishing it up, but some of the people in the cards were actual people, and in the guidebook it tells you who they are, but it doesn't really tell you anything about them. So I went through and kind of made a cheat sheet of why this person might have been chosen for that.
Right.
And it was really enlightening. I love that deck. It's so beautiful, and my son went through a phase where he's obsessed with Titanic, so we're just we watched a lot of Titanic videos in this household.
I've never seen the movie Titanic.
Really?
Really? Yeah. Yeah. Everybody just laughed.
Good.
I've said that. I mean, it was far too. I think everybody loved it, so I didn't want anything to do with it. I'm sort of contrary that way.
That's how I was with Harry Potter. I think book 7 was about to come out by the time I got on board.
Yeah.
And I was like, why isn't everyone reading this? It's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you tell me that I have to watch it, I'll be like, no, I don't.
Yep.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, and I was late also to Harry Potter to read them, which is odd because I worked in a library to where this is the best thing since sliced bread, because it's certainly going to cause a lot of circulation. And yes, I do have the Wild Unknown decks. They are different versions, so I have 2 of the indie ones and 1 of the mass market. So.
That is a very pretty deck. I've always been pretty fascinated with the Wild Unknown, but um, I don't think I could. I don't think it speaks to me to read with. But they're beautiful. I mean, they're just kind of amazingly drawn, illustrated.
Yeah, and and I guess I pick a deck for a couple of reasons. One is am I attracted to the artwork? Does the artwork pull me in? Does it stir something in me? Does it um, activate the the do you remember Spider-Man where he had the Spidey sense?
Yes, Spidey sense.
Does it activate my tarot sense, my connection sense? And and sometimes they do and sometimes they don't, and I'm just like going, I don't, you know it's like maybe not, but I pay it a lot of attention to that. So
Well, sometimes I mean, it can be beautiful cards, but I don't get the Spidey sense from it.
right,
It's pretty, but Now, you have a lot of decks, so I am interested to know what your process is when you acquire a deck. Is it just like the way it looks, or do you sit with it, or do you have certain criteria?
It's a good question. When we could actually go to places and hold decks in our hands, before, still in the shrink wrap, I would actually see if I felt an energy associated with the deck. Um, and now that I do it online, is I actually look at the cards and I look at walkthroughs or flip throughs, and I just want to see the cards. I don't want to see somebody's interpretation of it.
Right.
So because I want to make my connections. Um, I have purchased decks, and you're going to ask me which one, and I can't remember exactly the one, but I can see it. I've purchased them because I was revolted by them, to which said, okay, this is something I need to have. I need to see this. There's
Yeah.
something here that's going to push me. So
That's how I felt. I came across Murder of Crows during maybe not this year, but the year before. One of the 31 Days of Tarot prompts was any upcoming tarot decks you're excited about. And I'm not someone who has my ear to the ground as far as Kickstarter or anything like that. They just have to kind of come to me.
mm-hmm.
But to answer this prompt, I looked at it was either Llewellyn or the other magazine, and that deck was listed as coming out. And I was like, whoa. I think it was the High Priestess, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
where I was like, that's just horrible and awesome, So I was immediately, it's kind of dark, but it's kind of really cool looking,
Well, it's yeah, I agree with you. It's dark and it's cool looking, and it also goes, that is an aspect of that card that doesn't necessarily come quickly to me, because I'm not used to seeing that. It's still part of one of the lesser known meanings of the card. So sometimes I will pick a deck because of its artistic value. It's just like, okay, this is just beautiful. And I will also it's like I just purchased the Anna K tarot and the Anna K Lenormand, and I went directly through her channel or her website to get them, because that's important to me. I mean, mass market is one thing, but I really want to support the artists who are making these and putting these incredible decks out there. So, but
So do you read Lenormand?
no, but I have my fiance is starting to read Lenormand, so I've got the with the green glyphs. That's James R. Eads. So that was one we had. I mean, his stuff is of high quality, so I thought, okay, I need to have that. So
yeah, I just know basic stuff about it, and then I heard about Kipper cards, and it was kind of similar. But one thing I really like about it is the directionality is important. And I always try to look at that in a tarot spread, who's facing whom and who's looking away from that card. I think that's, another layer of meaning.
Yeah. And that's, I've been with the Tarot de Marseille, so the pip, and I'm paying attention to the directionality as well. It's like, oh, I hadn't really thought about that. Jamie felt that
Angela
way.
says, OMG. What are we OMGing?
That I have never seen the movie Titanic.
Oh.
Tech Coven,
that's okay. I've never seen any of the Twilight and never read the books. I'm not into vampires and stuff, but that was one of those everyone was seeing it, so I'm gonna be obstinate. I have to be contrary and prove something to someone. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're a Scorpio, aren't you, Gerald?
I am a Scorpio, and I am a Scorpio Cancer. So I am all water.
I am a Scorpio also, but I'm an Aries rising, and my moon is in Libra.
Oh.
Which shocks me.
Jamie had this similar reaction to the Deviant Moon. I just thought the Deviant Moon, when I saw it, I was like, okay, this guy's onto something here.
Yeah, some of the cards are funny, and some of the cards are just like really a little bit naughty, and some of them are just really cool looking. I have that deck, and it's, again, not one that there's my favorite card in that deck is, I think it's the Two of Pentacles. That's the belly dancer.
Yes.
Yes, I love that card.
Yeah.
There was room on that raft for Leo. That's all I'm going to say. I know she kind of pushed him off, didn't she? This was Titanic, Gerald. Leonardo DiCaprio was.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of it was scandalous how much room she had left on that raft. I know.
And I have to say, I agree that Gary Oldman knocked Dracula out of the park for the Bram Stoker's Dracula. It was incredible.
I like him.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies because I think the version of it is really visually, it's stunning. So, but yeah.
Allison from Tech Coven has never seen it either, so you're in good company.
Yep.
Oh, Jamie, it's hailing. Oh my gosh. It's like 70 here, so I cannot relate. I'm sorry.
It was beautiful and sunny today. I had the back door open for a while, so that was lovely.
Yeah, it was so nice today. How can you tell the difference between this triggers me and I need to get it despite my resistance? I think for me, it's just triggering makes me angry, and the resistance is I'm a little bit intrigued. Mm-hmm. I'm like horrified but intrigued.
Yeah.
It's not really, it doesn't annoy me or make me mad. It's just I want to know more.
Yeah, I think for me, I will, if I'm repulsed by it, I'll put it down. If I'm still thinking about it and I want to go back and look at it, that's something different. But if it's like, no. And I've done that. There have been some decks where I'm looking at and I'm like, no, this person, they're wrong. I get all judgy. I get all Scorpio on them. You don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy.
Well, we do know best, Gerald. I mean, come on.
See, did you hear that, world? We do know best. Scorpios know best.
We do.
Yeah. And, I mean, we also know how to have a really good time.
Yeah, it's not judgmental if you're right,
I am totally using that. I am totally using that. That's awesome.
Someone's got to be right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Somebody's got to be right. Yeah. It's usually Virgos, though, isn't it?
I think they're very, very practical, aren't they?
Yeah.
Eye roll. I say that with an eye roll.
Whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my.
Let's see. So besides writing about the cards, I'm always interested to know how people study the cards. Do you still study?
Yes, actually. Here, let me. I'm all about the show and tell. This is my tarot notebook. This is stuff that
Okay.
as I've studied the tarot, that I've written down, and sometimes I write down the same thing over and over again because that's what it is. The other thing that I like to do is when I get a deck, I like to lay. I pull the Fool aside and then I lay out 3 rows of 7, and then I look to see that progression. And then with the minors, I like to lay all of the suits out in a row so that I can see what the progression is and how they relate to each other.
Yes.
So,
and also I really like that because to learn or really learn a card, it's helpful to look at the previous card and the card that comes after because it kind of puts it in perspective, or it's the next step, or it's if you don't make a change, then we're on to the next sword.
Right.
And but also laying out cards of different decks next to each other, the same card from multiple decks, because you can see a lot of flavors, a lot of approaches to the card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's great to also be able to see if you were to put all of the aces in a deck next, or vertically or next to each other, you understand how the ace energy is translated into the energy of that suit. And because there's always that layer of numerology on top of that, too, and then how do the minors relate to the major? What's the connection there? So I haven't done the astrology aspect of it. The astrology is beyond my grasp at this point.
Yeah, me too. I find it interesting, but I only know the very basics, and I don't usually know that this card is this sign or anything like that. It's on my long list of knowledge to acquire.
Yeah, very much. Very much. Yeah.
Jamie says I had to read the big book and then I bought the deck. Which
that's the
Deviant Moon?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have the big book. I have a book in my Deviant Moon, but it must not be the big book because
it's the coffee table book that has full color pictures, really, and in large sections of each of the cards. It's a lovely book. It was not inexpensive.
Yeah, it sounds. I was gonna say, it sounds not inexpensive.
Yeah.
So you read with Marseille. Are you an RWS person, or?
I am mostly an RWS person, and I'm starting to read the Marseille. And have you seen that movie? It's available on Netflix. Terrology. It's a movie called Terrology. It's about a man who reads the Tarot de Marseille, and he's all visual, and I cannot remember his name. Somebody in chat can probably remember that, but
it's on Netflix.
I'm sorry. I think it's on Amazon Prime. Tarot.
Okay.
So.
No, how did I miss that?
So, but and the guy, he really likes the written word, and so he likes the written word, but it's a visual thing. And I also took a class. I'm taking my second class with Sadhana from Integrative Healing with Sadhana,
Mm-hmm.
the Read With Me series, and it's about looking at the cards and reading intuitively, which is great because it really has opened my reading up at a new level to where what's the intuitive reading of it, and then I can layer, or I can supplement that with the traditional meanings, because the Robin Wood, the tarot book is a really good book just for anybody who's reading RWS. So.
I don't have the book.
You don't?
I
Oh,
don't.
okay.
I'm writing that down too, Gerald.
Yeah, and and I love this because it's even autographed.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I was a bit of a geek of that. But the forward, the forward is actually, all right, you win. So it's 4 words. The forward is 4 words, and then there's an explanation. So quite funny, quite a funny lady. So.
I will have to work on getting that. My next question for you left my head.
Uh-oh.
Somebody type some questions in the chat if you have some for Gerald. I had a question like, I gotta ask him this, and then it went away.
Jamie said, the book is fantastic. Gives all the history about where the art came from and the characters for the deviant men.
I'm sorry. I'll be done in a second. I'm sorry. My son just came in and informed me that we forgot about the chicken nuggets in the oven.
Oh no.
This is welcome to my Tuesday nights. I mean, this is just my life. Oh well. It's
Pizza.
I'll have to take a picture and put it on Instagram.
Oh my gosh.
Marseille has improved my grasp of the Rider-Waite. I would imagine it would. Whose channel was it that she was talking about the direction that the vines are growing in, and it just had a lot more symbolism in the pip cards than I really thought it did.
Mm-hmm.
There were lots of little hints and layers of meaning, and so I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gerald, have you ever bought a deck sight unseen without a walkthrough?
Yes, I have. I have done several of them. One is the Sherlock Holmes Tarot, and one is it's the Raven's Prophecy.
Yeah.
It was like I picked it up, and I was showing it to Jeffrey, my fiance, and he was like, wow. And I went, yeah, I'm buying it. And it's just sort of like, yeah, okay. The other one is one of my favorite decks, which it's like, which three? My house is on fire. Which 3 decks? I would grab the Robin Wood. Yeah. I would grab the Transparent Tarot.
Okay, I have that.
Yep, I would grab the Transparent Tarot, and I probably would grab. Oh, that's tough because there's the first copy of the Wild Unknown. But I've been using a lot the Santa Muerte Tarot.
Yes, I love that one.
Yeah, that one. How do you use that? What does that one have a purpose for you?
No, I don't really have a whole lot of decks that I use just for certain types of readings, but besides my personal decks, But I usually gravitate toward that one when I'm kind of pissed off about something, because I was talking about this in some VR, and I just find that it's like, oh, well, it's not that big of a deal, right? Like, you're still breathing, right? It's just, and then there's a little twist of humor that I find clever. And so if I'm kind of cranky about something, it tends to put it in perspective, and I usually end up walking away a little more calm. So that's generally when I go to that one.
Yeah.
Like, this person's annoying, let me pick this deck, and then it kind of, you know.
Yeah, I use the Santa Muerte. For people who haven't seen it, I use the Santa Muerte for when I need to talk to dead people, or you know, so it's just the one that there was a period of time, and I still have it, of people who are wanting me to either talk to dead people or to ancestors and that energy. This one is just is quick for me with that. So.
Yeah. You know, I try not to talk to dead people. My personal dead people, I feel like I just talk to them more through prayer. But yeah, I don't know if I would do. I mean, sometimes people could pop in, and I'm like, there seems to be this, you know, person, but I don't know if I get the heebie-jeebies. You know, I'm an ID channel junkie. I've probably watched like every murder show ever, and I don't know. I get the heebie-jeebies sometimes.
But yeah, that's right. You were you would do crime scene investigation, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched a documentary on HBO probably in 2003 about crime scene cleanup. And it was, I just sat with my mouth agape. Like, this is awesome and horrible and too real and all this stuff. But I will never look at a hotel room the same way again.
Yes.
I will never look at a used car the same way again.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know how, it's one of those jobs, if I thought I could do it, I probably would do it, but I don't think I could.
Yeah.
I just would never be able to sleep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, you know, and you say prayer, which is lovely. And I think sometimes tarot is a form of prayer, and I am a firm believer that our ancestors just want to be remembered. And in that sense of, I'm cooking something that my mother used to cook, and I remember her, but oh yeah, wow. So
yeah, I have all my pictures, you know. Those are pictures of my, you know, my people, and I light a candle sometimes, and my grandpa sends me pennies. You know, I'll find a shiny new penny, and I know that's my grandpa.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And yeah. Oh, and by the way, I went through Catholic school 1st through 6th grade.
Oh.
So yes, and I went to seminary for a summer.
Oh, fun.
So I remember you talking about you know, what, the Catholic girls. You were doing that with Allison from Tech Coven, right?
Yes, I think Angela too went to Catholic school.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Catholic school. That was good times. Good time. You know, I joined the choir just because I was so bored. Like, oh God, mass again. Like, I gotta have something to do. So I joined the choir just so I could like sit over there with my friends and sing.
Yeah. Oh
yeah. I turned out to be a bad Catholic.
But so you went through high school, right?
No, not in Catholic school. I was in Catholic school for elementary school.
Okay.
And then we moved, and then I was in public school. Yeah.
Okay. But could you tell the difference between your education from elementary school to public school, parochial school to public school?
Um, no, I just that it was, I went to public school and it was, well, we moved to a different state, but it was, of course, much bigger, lots more people. But the people were less, the kids were less nice, I guess, in public school.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I would describe it. In Catholic school, you don't really have to worry about the clothes you're going to wear because you're wearing that plaid jumper. Maybe that's why I don't like the plaid back on the right. It brings me back to the blue plaid jumper at St. Margaret Mary.
Yeah, I think there's something to that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Deck Harlot, also Catholic school. Yes. It sticks with you. I mean, I still like to pray a rosary sometimes. I like rosaries, and I have my little catechism book.
Mm-hmm.
I still have that.
And I think there is, the rosary, it's a form of meditation. It's like, so I think it's beautiful, and I'm all about I'm all about take the pieces and parts that work for you, and if they work for you, and make your heart sing, then do it.
Now, did you make up sins also, Gerald, for confession? Or did you have real sins?
Well, I was a good little Catholic boy, but so I did make up sins. But did you ever do this so that the priest would know you were still there? Trying to think of, I used to do that. I would click my fingers, do my fingers just because I was like, I don't know what to say. So.
Oh no, I went in like with notes. Like I had pre-done. I just check. Okay, I did this. Check. Yeah, I carefully crafted them, and then I'd be like, I think I said this one last time, so I can't say that one again. Like as if they would remember,
Right.
I don't know.
And it was 5 Hail Marys, 5 Our Fathers.
Right. Yep. Depending on how naughty you had been. And I remember the priest being almost like bored. He was just bored,
Yeah.
And I thought he did not take it nearly seriously enough. I thought he should have. At least I went to a lot of trouble to make these up. At least act shocked, and horrified at my sins.
Oh, Jezebel actually said, "Isn't making up a sin a sin?"
Well, no, that's technicality. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you did not have mandatory uniforms. We had the mandatory, blue plaid, and then K through 5 had jumpers for girls, and then the middle school girls just had the plaid skirts, which we thought was just like, that is so cool that they can wear a skirt and not a jumper. Like that was our goal in life.
Wow.
Yes, I had notes. Angela. Yes, okay, that is a foray into storytelling. It's making up sins.
Yeah. So it's basically just, that's your, so what would that be? Sin writing prompts, or,
sinful writing prompts.
Yeah. Confession.
My writing prompts are all going to be PG-13, Gerald. Okay.
Well, of course.
PG-13 or higher.
Woo!
Woohoo! Yeah, they did make you say something, like, I just had this knowledge. I'm a kid. What could I have possibly done that warrants this humiliation? I better find something to say that's not that bad.
Yeah. Did okay, were you doing were you still in school or going to confession when we moved to face confession, where you actually didn't have the screen?
No, not that I remember, because I was very shy as a kid, and so that would have absolutely mortified me. I mean, even just the confession, I was so shy, you know. So no, I had the screen.
Yeah, that was a new experience, you know.
That
Like,
sounds like a bad idea, you know.
so
If you're trying to get people to do that, it sounds like face to face is a bad idea.
yeah.
Yeah, the jumper and the skirt, and then we had the white button-down shirt, and then we wore shorts underneath, and then during gym class, you would just wear the shirt with the shorts and change into your tennis shoes. And we could not wear patent leather shoes. That was strictly forbidden because the
Wow.
boys see up your skirt, supposedly. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's a play or a musical called No, there's a book. Do patent leather shoes reflect upward, I think.
Well, according to Catholic school, they do. I
Yeah.
don't think they do, but oh, you could choose. Yeah, behind the screen was creepy. No, you could kind of see through the screen. Like I could see him sitting there thumbing through his magazine while I did
Oh,
confession.
wow.
So,
Wow.
what
Well,
is he doing behind that screen? Well, you can kind of see. He's reading. He was reading a book. I think he had like a magazine inside the Bible, so you couldn't see.
yeah.
Like a comic book or something.
Yeah, and I think, it's one of those things that as children, it was we understanding the concept of a sin and doing something not right. It was all confusing because,
Yeah.
but I guess it's part of growing up. I don't know.
Because you would think, does this mean I'm bad? Does this mean I'm not a good person?
Right, right.
And it was just, little things that I would say like I lied to my parents.
Yeah.
Probably I had, I don't know. I said a cuss word. Now more than likely that was true, but is it a sin? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh, I completely understand. I completely understand. Wow.
Well, all Scorpios are a little bit sinful, but that's part of our charm.
I,
That and the always being right.
I'm not sinful. I would just say I know how to have a good time. And do you want to
Yeah,
join?
in a fun way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're just
the
not
thing.
uptight.
Yeah. Of course, Scorpios are the ones who would say, who would, somebody tells you something and you go, that's a horrible idea. What time or am I
Oh,
picking you
right.
up?
Sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah. But boy, times have changed since there's mobile phones where you can document it.
Yeah, I don't know how my students can grow up having everything. There was a fight today, and of course, there's, 50 versions of the video. It was just
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Yeah.
A
It's
tarot
funny.
theme party, what would you dress up as? If you threw a tarot theme party, what would you dress up as?
Yeah. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I don't know probably something dramatic like the High Priestess. I'm into that kind of like drama and lots of makeup.
Mm-hmm. I would be the Hermit,
Of course.
especially from the Robin Wood Tarot, because I have a pair of the red shoes in that. And one of my staffs has a white feather hanging from it. So,
Ah, so you have like, you're ready. I love that card. It's like nice purpley, and I love the colors of that card. It's really
yes.
rich. Does
Yeah.
Stevie Nicks count as a tarot person? Okay, yeah. Stevie Nicks always counts. She's awesome.
Stevie Nicks is always welcome. So
always.
yeah.
Well, Gerald, I have to probably go check on the chicken nuggets.
You have to feed your child. So.
Yeah, he's in here giving me like the sad, like, I'm starving, you know, guilting me.
Yeah.
I have to feed him too? Okay. The star would be a good one, Kristen. In a peach suit. Oh yes, you have to wear like a flesh-colored leotard or something, so as not to. So otherwise, you'll be going to confession afterward. Okay, thanks everyone for joining us. Gerald, thank you for being here. I am looking forward to doing some more writing. You've inspired me. Great. So I'm going to pull out that Titanic deck and do some writing. And check out Gerald's channels. If you're just joining us or you're watching the playback, thank you. Check out The Hermit Mage and Tarot Stache. And he has quite a large number of decks. So I'm looking forward to the Murder of Crows walkthrough.
Yep, that'll go up next week. So yeah. So,
next week. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
See you next time.